What's going on, everybody? Robert from Shooting the Sith here. It's been about a week since I did one of these, so I wanted to get another episode of Shooting the Sith out there while I drive home from work. Actually, I'm driving from one job to another. And I do apologize if I'm sounding a little funky. I got a new mic, tried it on my seatbelt yesterday with my free talk for Bridging the Geekdoms. Didn't sound great. Put it in a new spot on my visor. Hopefully that sounds a little bit better. But this is all trial and error right now that with this new format that I'm trying to do while I drive home, I might have to get a new mic or something like that. But we will see. We will definitely see. I got a crazy looking spider on my windows. I'm going to get rid of that. All right. So this episode of Shooting the Sith, I want to talk about something that Lucasfilm should look at pursuing and maybe doing within the lore of Star Wars. You see, since 1977, it's been about the heroes in all forms and imaginations of Star Wars. I mean, the Skywalker saga was about the Skywalkers, and while the prequel trilogy was about Anakin and his fall to the dark side, the original trilogy was about Luke Skywalker helping redeem his father Anakin and bringing him to the light. And a sequel trilogy, well, we're just not going to get into that. So what I think Lucasfilm needs to do, I think it would just be a brilliant idea to change things up a bit, would be to make a couple series maybe on I said HBO, on Disney Plus. Make a couple movies. Make it where they are about the bad guys. You know, we're seeing, for instance, take a look at what DC did with Suicide Squad. Now, we know the original Suicide Squad is not all that great of a film, but the concept and the idea that they were going to focus on villains and, in some regards, anti-heroes was actually a really, really smart, brilliant idea that was different than what we've seen within the superhero genre at the time. So, why doesn't Lucasfilm turn around? And I'm not saying, and don't think I'm saying, we need a Darth Vader series or a Darth Vader movie, because I don't agree with that. The Skywalker saga is essentially Darth Vader's saga, just he is in the main focus the entire time. What I'm saying is they need to take a character that we've never seen before, establish a new villain. Maybe specifically Palpatine would be a good idea, or Plagueis, or Bane, or Malak. Somebody that is known, or somebody that is brand new, that we've never heard of or seen before, and make them a catalyst of their own project. Now, think about it this way. We've had the Skywalker saga, we had Rogue One, we had Solo, The Mandalorian, Obi-Wan Kenobi series is coming up. There's a Cassian Andor series being made for Disney Plus. So much focus on all these heroes. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for a great hero adventure, a great hero's journey. I mean, that's essentially what Star Wars is about. But with so much negativity and so much divisiveness within the fandom, they need to really think outside the box and flip things a bit. Let's flip everything on it. Let's just flip it on our heads. Let's just do something completely different. Let's do something that nobody thought that we would have done or we would even consider doing. Let's explore the Sith. Why the hell not? You know, people want an old Republic so bad. I mean, if you really think about it, the Knights of the Old Republic games, especially the first one, is technically about a villain. It's just that he came to the light, essentially. So why not, instead of, copying the Knights of the Old Republic, verbatim, let's be inspired by that and take those ideas and flip them on its head. Let's push forward, and let's really build an understanding of who the Sith are and why they are. I was really hoping that they were going to explore that come sequel trilogy. I thought, hey, maybe they'll explore the Sith. It's a perfect opportunity with Palpatine gone, and we got Kylo Ren, who is still relatively a young Force user and a Skywalker. It would have been really, really cool and interesting for him to be exploring and understanding and learning about the Sith and who the Sith were and what it means to be a Sith Lord. But they decided to just throw that all away. Now with the High Republic, we're not even going to have the Sith. It's going to be a completely new villain of sorts because, the Sith have been gone for millennia, according to Mace Windu and the Phantom Menace. So why not jump back a little further and explore these villains or new villains, the Sith? We've had so many adventures with Jedi, with the Clone Wars, with Rebels, with the Skywalker saga, but there's no real explanation or coverage or what have you in regards to the Sith. And this would be a fantastic idea. I mean, come on, who would not want to go? I've always said this. I think an amazing idea for a Disney Plus series would be the origins of Darth Maul. A lot of people will sit here and say, "Oh, he's played out. He, a character that was killed off, brought back, for animation, and then showed up in Solo and confused a bunch of people. He's played out. We don't want to see him anymore." I don't completely disagree with that because I do want to see some new characters pop up. But I, for so long, have wanted to see the origins of Darth Maul and see how treacherous the training of the Sith is, and how evil Palpatine was to his apprentice. Obviously, with everything that's going on with Ray Park, we do not want to involve Ray Park in any of that, but there's no reason he couldn't get somebody else. Sam Witwer, who is now the voice of Darth Maul, I don't see why he couldn't just put the face paint on and do it himself. It could be a limited series, and this is something that they could do on a limited run basis. Give us a 4 or 5 episode arc of who he is and where he came from on Disney Plus. Maybe make it kind of like a anthology series of sorts. You call Star Wars, Sith, or something like that. And each episode dives into different Sith Lords that have come about over the course of the entire generations, all the generations of Star Wars lore. So that way you can cast these characters and you can do a Darth Bane episode or two. And then if they decide to do another season, they could re-explore that character. You could take a look at Darth Maul. You could take a look at Plagueis. You could take a look at Palpatine. There's so much that you could truly get into with an idea like that. And, this whole anthology idea kind of came to me as I was just driving here, driving right now. But I think it's a brilliant idea. It'll expand Star Wars so much more than it's already expanded. And it'll give us a taste of something different. They're so worried about walking away from the Skywalker saga now. Ever since Disney took over Lucasfilm, it seems like they've gotten away from what Star Wars is and what it's about. And no matter what anybody says and tries to tell me, the root of Star Wars sits and lies within the Skywalker legacy. Everything hinges around that, because the battle of good and evil was the battle of Jedi and Sith. Regardless of what the sequel trilogy did in removing the Sith, regardless of what the High Republic is doing about trying to hide away the Sith, the basics of Star Wars has always been the battle versus good and evil. And in Star Wars lore, from the moment we learned what a Jedi and Sith were, It became the battle of Jedi and Sith, good and evil, the rebellion, the Empire, the Republic, and the Separatists. That is what it has been in Star Wars. So we've explored the good for the last 40 plus years. Why don't we turn around now and explore the evil side? I just think it's a brilliant idea. I think Lucasfilm needs to sit back and realize, look, us trying to move away from everything Lucas created is not going to help us. Just some speculation and rumors I've heard that the reason why Lucasfilm and Disney specifically has instructed Lucasfilm to move away from the legacy characters, the legacy stories of what Lucas, helped create and shepherd in, is because supposedly there's a deal that Lucas gets money every time an original stormtrooper is used, or every time something from what he created is utilized, he gets some sort of money from that. I don't know if that's true. It's all speculation, part of the rumorverse. I couldn't tell you if that's factual or not. But for them to so passionately push away everything Lucas has created and try and create their own new. And now what I'm saying here is create new, but not forgetting what the old was, not forgetting what the basis of what Lucas had created, because that is what is most important here. What is most important is expanding what the creator made, expanding on Lucas's ideas, not shoving them into a box and hiding them away in Maz Kanata's castle. I mean, that's really what it is. You can't do that. That's why there's so much divisiveness right now within the fandom. That's why the sequel trilogy, while financially successful, fan reception has been so split. There's a way to honor what came before while creating new. And I think it's time to say, you know what, we need to take a break from the Skywalker saga. I get that. I'm fine with that. But why not tackle an area that has yet to be tackled in Star Wars? Like I said, let's take a look at their villains for a bit. Even if it is on an anthology series basis type of thing. The technology that they created for The Mandalorian, which is now being used for the current movie, The Batman, and appears that it will most likely be used for Cassian Andor, and the Obi-Wan series, has truly helped lower the budget of the making of these series, and it's going to be helping the budgets of film as well. I'm not going to say it's removing millions and millions of dollars, but the time, the effort, a lot of that process is sped up, which saves a lot of money. And to me, it's a hell of an idea. And I think it's something that needs to be explored in Lucasfilm. If they're going to be banking on Star Wars as much as they are, because Lucasfilm isn't just Star Wars. I mean, they have Indiana Jones and they have other projects that they've done in the past and appear to be doing in the future, but they're sticking to Star Wars. Well, they need to truly look at it and say, let's think outside the box, let's do something different, and let's build a universe that isn't just one-sided and just looking at the characters all the time, because it gets played out. Case in point, the sequel trilogy. They had no idea what the hell they were doing there. They made a new Anakin, attempted to, making her an unknown and making her a Palpatine and making her a Skywalker. It just shows you that there was no true vision or guidance within that series or sequel trilogy. She literally has 3 origins, essentially, which is just absurd and insane. Absurd and insane in talk. So, as I was saying, villains. Lucasfilms needs to take a chance on their villains. They have created in the past some of the most iconic villains in pulp culture, in sci-fi, space opera. And it's amazing to me that they just don't look at them anymore. They just, I don't know, guys. I don't know. I just think it's something that people need to truly sit back and take a look at and say, you know what? We're going to really, truly do this. We're gonna give fans something different. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Hit me up on Twitter. You can see my Bridging to Geekdom's name there, Bridge Geekdoms, or you can find the Shooting the Sith at R. Slavinsky. You can follow me on the Twitters on either one of those. I'm pretty active on both, more so the Bridge Geekdoms one, but I am active on the Shooting the Sith Twitter as well. But let me know. I think this is worthy of a movement of yelling at Lucasfilm like, hey, start listening to your fans. We have an idea. So let me know. Is that an idea? Is it a good idea? I really like the anthology idea. Even if it's not villains. Even if it's just an anthology series within Star Wars where they just explore all the different aspects of the Star Wars galaxy and time. And maybe every season could be kind of like a through line that runs through it. Like maybe one season it's about the Sith, one season it's about the Jedi, one season it's about, the plans for the Death Star getting from one place to another. I don't know, just something, or make a through line somehow that is not from episode to episode. You don't realize it, but in the end, when you sit back and you start to put everything together, you realize, oh crap, that leads to this, or that leads to this in the Star Wars universe. I just think it'd be a really badass idea. Getting to the rule of 2. Show us that. All right, guys, that's all I got for me today. As always, make sure you go to spoilerverse.com. That's where you're going to find all of the things from Shooting the Sith, from Bridging the Geekdoms, Polygon Warriors, Narrative Gunslingers, Misery Point Radio, and our flagship podcast, Spoiler Country. Well, that was interesting. So whoever actually watches this, make sure you reach out to me and laugh at the fact that my phone fell. With all that said, talk to you later. May the Force be with you.